thought that would be appropriate. What's up, Miles?
Not much, man. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Having some fun. I'm joined by the newest edition of Sovereign Men.
What's up, bro?
What's
Looking
up,
so like my
bro?
mum. Looking so
Yeah.
like mum. And your dad, obviously. No beef.
Yeah, man. Wow. Right? When we first met, there were no kitties in the picture. Did we have Mia when I
No,
met
man.
you?
No,
No,
man.
right? Oh my
No.
God, we're single, doing our thing.
Yeah.
And now here we are with kitties all over the place. So how's your week so far, Miles?
Yeah, I've had a good week, dude. It's kind of been crazy in the UK here. Whole like Epstein file stuff has been crazy in London. Like, what feels so crazy is that everybody's losing their mind about around like the Epstein files, but I don't know if anyone seems to care in America. It's just like, yeah, Trump was hanging out with Epstein, Bill Gates hanging out with Epstein, but we've got the envoy to the USA, not the envoy, he's like the ambassador to the USA, who was in touch with Epstein for a long time. And then that has then meant that our prime minister has had to defend himself for appointing him to that position. And everyone's been like calling for the prime minister to resign. He hasn't, but there was a lot of pressure on him for him to lose his job. So now his most senior consultant, his most senior aide, has resigned instead of the prime minister. But I mean, I'm not a fan of the current prime minister, but I also just feel like, dude, the prime minister, his name's Keir Starmer. He wasn't on Epstein Island. He wasn't friends with Epstein. He's just appointed someone who was friends with Epstein. And it was like he did kind of know that this guy was in touch with Epstein. And then it did transpire that this guy was in touch with Epstein a bit longer than he said he was. But still, man, people going crazy. It's like a lot of canceling culture. Like if you do one thing wrong, you're just gone forever. But I mean, I'm kind of glad that he hasn't resigned, because I don't know if you're aware, we've had so many prime ministers in the last 5 years. They've just been chopping and changing all the time. We had one that lasted for about 2 weeks or less, and then she got kicked out. So I'm kind of glad. But it's really crazy. Like no Americans are being taken down as a result of the Epstein files. Just feels like loads of British people have been. Or maybe we just cancel our people faster here. Like we don't really give our people any grace. They're just kind of ready to get takedown whenever they want.
Yeah, what a wild week, man. It's been crazy. Don't know what to think of it, really. I mean, it's kind of been in the news for some time now. It's breaking. It's just awful though to learn all this stuff. I mean, I think a lot of people suspected that there was some nefarious activity going on up top, and now it's like all out there. And yeah, man, I don't know. I'll be frank. I'm into Bitcoin because of all this stuff too, right? Like, because I know the world is like fundamentally like messed up, and I feel like I don't know, our live streams are a bit of a corner in the world where we're hoping to create something positive. And with daughters, and oh my God, like it's just such a
the other angle is the other angle is like, did you see there's some stuff saying Epstein funded Bitcoin development in the beginning? I was like, what is this, the FUD narrative for this year? Like Epstein started Bitcoin. Epstein is Satoshi.
bro, they're never gonna find an end to all this. They'll come at us in every way possible. No, I've been seeing the rounds. I did a little bit of grokking with the AI and asking about, okay, well, how real is some of this stuff, and did they actually go to the real island versus like the business one? I don't know, man, dude. This stuff is way out of my wheelhouse. I mean, to me, it's like you build that narrative of Bitcoin up from first principles. It's open source. We've always known what the code is. It doesn't matter who created it. It is censorship resistant. It is open source. It is, limited to 21 million. I mean, these are the things we get excited about. But I've been seeing what's going on out there. I think that's probably why Bitcoin took a bit of a beating as well over the last week or two. And crazy times. So what's been the highlight for you this week? You guys are, I guess, not traveling now. You're back stationed at home.
No, we're actually having a great time. It's nice.
How's the homeschooling thing going? I was going to ask you about that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, keep going. I was going to ask you how that's going.
Yeah, it's going well, actually. I think the highlight for my last week is that we've been building a treehouse. Me and the kids have been building a treehouse in the garden. It's like really cool. It's like really high up, and the kids are like psyched how tall it is up in a tree. And that's kind of the homeschool vibe, really. We do some maths, language arts, history in the morning. We do some reading around lunchtime, and then by 12:30, 1 o'clock, we're kind of done. So this is kind of, I finished homeschooling now. And then after this, they're like outside waiting to get. We've been using chainsaws. My oldest kid has, at the start of the week, couldn't start the chainsaw, like, but yesterday he started the chainsaw for the first time and he was going nuts. And I was going, Chad, 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 Chad. And he was going, ooh, ooh. He absolutely loved it that he started the chainsaw. We're just having such a good time. And I kind of leave my phone inside while I'm working outside in the treehouse, and it's just so cool doing that. And I don't know how long this will last. We're not committed to homeschooling forever. We're just in it right now. So I'm just trying to enjoy it and get down with the stuff that I just don't think I'd have time to do any work on a treehouse midweek. That would be like a weekend activity. And then the weekend's kind of full anyway with like social stuff and clubs and things. So I'm kind of just enjoying that this is something I wanted to do before we homeschooled, but now we've got time to do it. So that's kind of the highlight for me, actually, cutting wood and building a treehouse. It's excellent.
Dude, I'm jealous. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, you actually had me thinking this week about all that stuff again. During COVID, we had homeschooled our daughters.
Yes, you said,
We were
yeah.
lucky
You sound
enough
like you had a great
to,
setup.
yeah, it was awesome. We had a lady come into our place every day, and oh, it was awesome. Every morning she would take them for a walk. They would just move at their own pace. They probably covered 2 years in 1 year in terms of just progress. It was fun. But my elder daughter, she's been not complaining, but she's just kind of like, school's not easy, She's like, they make us sit down all day. She's like, even if we try and get up for a tissue paper, they'll get mad at us. And I was like, what? What do you mean? You can't even grab a tissue paper? It's like, no, you got to get permission from the teacher to get a tissue paper. And she was just expressing some like frustration about what's going on at school. And I was like, well, the homeschooling thing's always available. Like, mommy and I are open to that idea. And as we were talking about this, we got her report card this week, and dude, she's scoring straight A's. Like, what?
She's doing great.
How? Like, how is that? That's amazing. I was so blown away. And so we got to talking about, I don't know. I mean, one of her friends recently skipped a grade and just kind of,
oh, wow.
I was like, well, you know what's even better than homeschool? No school. Like, consider, jumping a grade or two. So I've been planting that seed. Cool, man. But I interrupted you with the question about your homeschool. You were saying something else before that. Do you remember?
I think that's pretty much the highlight as well, is the treehouse. I mean,
I love that.
It's not really it's not like Instagram goals, is it? Like, closed, like the stuff we would talk about, closed on a deal, but it is kind of fun to do together.
Yeah, man.
I've actually got.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, I've actually got something that I've been working on the last few weeks that I'll share with you. I'll share my screen. This is probably something I've been thinking about. I've been hosting this Faith and Bitcoin meetup. It's gathering. How do I share my screen? Hit present. Share screen. Let's share screen. Yeah, can you see this? Here we go.
Yep.
So it's kind of something I've been thinking about for a while, actually, and it's around sort of teaching Christians, people who have faith in like the Christian God, that Bitcoin is the sort of most moral and open monetary system that's ever existed, and it's kind of like just trying to professionalize what I've been talking about to a lot of people already. And, if you roll up to some church leader or some pastor and you start saying, hey, man, the church should accept Bitcoin, you should start getting into Bitcoin and telling them about it. They just think you're crazy. So I'm just trying to create this kind of, this sort of group where we can talk about Bitcoin and it looks really professional, so that when a church leader looks at it, they just think, oh, right, okay, you're like a serious group of people. You're not just a bunch of crackpot internet money dudes. So I've just been working on this website and gathering some people together and just, putting it all in a way which looks like we're not a bunch of nutters, and yeah, this is kind of it. I haven't really got that many people up on the website yet, but I'm approaching a bunch of people to say, hey, will you come and be part of this thing that we do? And yeah, people are kind of up for it, and it makes it, the sort of people I'm approaching are kind of professors at some of the top universities, and I've had a few conversations with one guy in particular, Oxford University. He's a theology professor, but he also does lectures in Austrian economics as well at the same university. He's part of he's part of the Austrian Economics Society or something. And so he isn't particularly into Bitcoin actually yet. He hasn't even spent time learning about Bitcoin, he said to me. So I started talking to him. He's like a real brain, this guy. And I'm saying, look, this is what we're trying to do. He's a Christian, trying to do the churches. I'm kind of like begging him, saying, look, I need some solid people here to be representing what we're doing, because I can't just rock up like Miles, like Bitcoin bro, like, it needs to be so-and-so professor of theology, Oxford University, and this person, professor emeritus at Cambridge University. And then it can be like Miles Dillon, Sonny Ray, like the Bitcoin guys.
Have you thought about putting your super hit of a song on there somewhere? That would give you instant credibility.
Yeah. Also wrote this song as well, banger. Well,
yeah,
songs. Maybe. I just,
but I love it, dude. You've got a real eye for design, and I don't know. I just just the initial look at it just felt like,
oh yeah,
it was on brand, and
yeah,
it felt nice.
It looked like a sort of old money wealth consultancy sort of vibe.
Yeah. That's good. But you're in that zone of like creating, building, connecting.
Seeing what
so I love that. I love that. That's totally on brand with what we're talking about. I had something I was going to share before we dive into, kind of the core of the podcast here. Definitely not related to religion, unless you consider sales to be a religion, which it's not. But no, I discovered this software called. Every week I come across something new, something crazy. This is with this software called Atio. Did they tell you about this?
No, I'm still like,
this is their tagline. yeah. Oh, OpenCloud's like a deep one. It's like, it's a never-ending one. It's so much fun. Oh, I got some stuff to share on that front as well. Actually, I was going to tell you something. Okay. So first of all, Atio, this is look, CRM of the future. Boy, does it live up to its name. Yeah. It's incredible, Miles. Can I so you literally connect this to your email, and the entire CRM is built out for you. Like, I don't know if you've ever worked with a CRM, but like I've been working with this
long time ago,
years,
and
it is mind-numbing and boring. And it's like you've got to be like brought over kicking and screaming, like, oh, did you update your records? And and it's important to do all that updating, but it's just so boring that most people don't do it. And as a result, CRMs never really, they never really perform the way that they should be. These guys are so smart. They've essentially figured out how to use like the magic of AI. They connect into your calendar, into your email, and in such an elegant way where, like I said, it just draws all the information in and builds out your Kanban board, your pipeline and follow-ups, and everything is just like almost done. Like you just sit there, you just click a button, and it's fun. So I'm probably, I don't know, people are probably like, what the hell is he even talking about? Why is he geeking out about a CRM? Check it out. If you run a business, you might enjoy it. The other thing, again, a bit of a geeky techie note, Bitcoin related is I have a couple of buddies that used to work. How am I going to even find it? Ori, what's that about? I doubt I'll even find it. Let's see if it shows up. Nah. I'm going to pull it up. So anyway, we're talking about OpenClaw. So I had a couple buddies who used to work with Jack Dorsey. And they broke off, recently started doing their own company called Money Dev Kit, which is a crazy idea in itself. But what they're building, maybe I'll just talk about it. I can't seem to find it. But they're building this thing called Ori. Yeah, it's a bot. It's a WhatsApp bot that
Oh, yeah.
you essentially add to your group with your boys. So like everyone's got like a group with the boys or whatever.
Right.
You add it and it roasts you. It does shit. It does like cool stuff. It'll be like you'll be like, "Hey, we're doing a weekend getaway for the boys. Whip up a website." Or help us coordinate a beer night, or I don't know, just tell us the joke, tell us a dad joke or whatever. Like you just and it's
It's just
just
like in
there
the
and
chat.
it's in the chat, but it's like it's got personality, but it's also proactive. It's not like waiting for you to always talk to it. It's kind of nudging itself into the conversation.
That's
um
hilarious. Yeah.
so and then the biggest thing about it is because these guys are Bitcoiners is it also has the capacity to do payments, which
No.
is super crazy, right? So now you've got
Yeah.
this like AGI like thing chilling with your boys, but it can make payments, right? It's got this ability to do
Yeah.
lightning payments, which is
Yeah.
gnarly and crazy. So I don't know. Those are maybe my two I don't know, things that I wanted to share that I was like blown away by. But it feels like almost every day, man, we're coming across something that would have never even thought that it would have existed even a year ago.
Dude, you've given me an idea. I used to have this idea. I should probably revisit it now that I can have an AI bot do it. It was like, probably around the time we lived in India, and there was loads of our friends who we made in India worked in call centers, and they would speak to people from the UK, and they would tell us funny stuff that British people would say to them while they were working in the call centers. They would say, "Oh, when an American is rude to you, they're just rude. But when a British person is rude to you, you don't know if they're being rude or not. They're like, oh, thank you so much. You've been so helpful." But they get trained in the call center to know that that's the British person who's annoyed with you, right? So I had this idea that, okay, so me and you, we've got like immigrant parents, yeah? And they just like came to our countries and they just worked their asses off, right? Because they had this like drive. Their parents were like, you better do something useful with your life, like get it going, do it now, like crush your life. Like, don't you understand what it cost us to come here? They had all that kind of energy. But then you've got me, like my generation, like I'm kind of chill. My parents have like got a house. They did okay. I want to explore like meaning and, and all that kind of stuff. I'm probably not quite as driven as my parents were. So I had this idea for immigrant parents who look at their kids and they're like, what the hell you're doing, stupid child? You don't work hard enough, right? You could connect with someone at a call center in another country, and like every 2 or 3 days, your kid would get a call and they would get like immigrant parent energy, like, you're a useless piece of crap. You need to, right? But just to like give their child like some of that fear of the immigrant child energy. Everyone I told this to, they're like, this is a terrible idea. Like, why would you do this? Like, trust me. Some people want that for their kids. They look at their kids and they think they are not driven. They need some of the energy, the hunger, the drive. So I feel like you could introduce that in a chat bot now and just give the kids, do you realize what your parents did for you? Like give them some banter as well, like kind of try and like build them up a bit. And then if they don't do well, be like, what the hell do you mean you got to be? Like, who the hell do you think you are? Gonna go and get the stick for you. No sticks, man. But like, that's the kind of immigrant parent vibe that I didn't really experience that exactly, but I know that my dad was under that.
But
And
if they
something
were
about that,
outsourced, then they technically wouldn't be immigrants, right? Like these
right? Yeah,
people
yeah, true.
that I wonder if they
True,
would
true,
carry
true.
that same energy.
True. Bro, that's like the most out there thing I've ever said on this stream.
It's all good, dude. We need material here. We're running low. No, I'm kidding. But dude, I like it. That reminds me though, there is this new website that popped up last week where that allows OpenClaw bots to hire humans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, to fill out those those captchas and things like that. Bots are gonna get stuck,
Yeah,
so now they hire humans, I guess.
that's crazy.
One of my wife's requests has been, she's like, I want a WhatsApp group with you, me, and a AI that's like a marriage counselor. I'm like,
Oh
seriously, we
yeah.
don't need marriage counseling. We're good. She's like, oh, I don't know. So that's one of my weekend projects. I was thinking of building something like Ori, but for like a husband and wife type of situation. And I don't know, it should
Yeah.
have a bit of humor to it, perhaps, right? A little bit of empathy. I don't know. I'll conjure up a prompt for it. But yeah, man, dude, I'm having the time of my life with all this stuff. It's like to be
Yeah.
alive during this time, and to be tinkering and to be building and exploring and connecting. Ah, what a great time. So
Yeah,
what's been
dude,
going
I
on?
think it's
Yeah,
amazing.
what's been going on? I mean, let's talk a little bit about, I guess, Bitcoin. Yeah, like I know it's kind of,
Yeah.
has it picked up in the last week? I just stopped looking at the
Well,
price.
we pumped back over about 71,000
What did it
sort of
hit? What was
last
the
10
low? What was the low?
six, depends on what exchange, but basically 60, 61 was when we touched
Hey,
the
so we're up
absolute low.
71, bro. Crushing.
Yeah. But I think we've come down. I actually haven't looked today because I really need to not look at the price as much, but I think we've come down again. But it's kind of floating around the high 60s, I think.
Okay.
Let me just check actually. What's it? No, 60. We're on 67 today.
Any big news that caught your attention?
Nothing really. There's a lot of stuff. Quantum is the thing this year. Do you remember a few weeks ago I said, what's the narrative going to be in Bitcoin? And we were like talking about a few things and how it used to be the boiling the oceans. And then it was like Bitcoin's going to zero for a long time. And then it was like criminals use Bitcoin. Like, don't use Bitcoin because criminals use it. I think this year is going to be quantum computing is going to break Bitcoin. So that is something. I mean, my wife's dad even said to me, "Oh, it's the quantum thing, isn't it? It's the quantum thing." So what is quantum? And I was like, he literally has no idea.
That's good.
That is a headline, and he has connected that to the price, and he's like, "This quantum thing, Star Wars, that's what's going to cause the price to go down, isn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm pretty sure some smart people are working on that, but don't worry. I mean, your bank account is totally screwed if quantum comes in, so I'd worry about that first rather than
that should help him sleep." Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, or China are just going to take control of the water processing plants, and then quantum is going to break into those, and then we're totally screwed. I was like, seriously, Bitcoin is the least of our worries if quantum comes on board.
I don't even know if I can find it. I interviewed a guy that I think wrote the bit for the quantum, like the way to protect Bitcoin against quantum attacks. I interviewed him while I was working at Matador. His name is escaping my mind, but anyways, people can find it on my channel if they go look hard enough. Yeah, I had a couple of things I wanted to mention on the Bitcoin note, just like personally speaking. Number one, I've got my Toronto Bitcoin meetup tonight, baby.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Pumped about that. I do that once a month. Beaver Bitcoin is my sponsor. They help pay for the beers when people come in. We cover everyone's first beer. Cool. So I love Aubrey and the team over there. They're super, super cool. They're probably my favorite Bitcoin company in Canada right now. We've got about 35 people signed up. I'm going back on the offense with, physical meetups again, as I was doing back in Bangalore, when I first met you in 2012, 2013. So I love meetups and I love it around this time when most people are starting to lose hope kind of, and they're just like checking out. And then you start doing the meetups and then you get like pure signal. You get people that are, the real deal. I don't know. It's weird, but I kind of like it when we're not at all-time high. I find like when we're at all-time high, it's just too frothy, and it's just everybody's an expert now, and everybody's bullish, and everybody's got a take, and everybody's building something, which is good. But I like these times,
and everybody feels rich, so they feel like they're clever because they're rich at that time.
Yeah, or they're in like complete disarray because they didn't get enough, and it's just like emotions everywhere. But right now, I kind of like this vibe. Yeah, this is the time to build. And excitingly, there's a conference in Canada called the Canadian Bitcoin Conference. It's hosted by this guy named Daniel and his wife Manuela. And in my view, they are the premier Bitcoin conference in Canada. It's the one I went to in Montreal, and I think it was November, December, I forget. They've been doing it for about 4 years in a row. And long story short, I interviewed Daniel on my show a month ago or so, and then after that we got to talking, and they offered me a role for the Canadian Bitcoin conference, and they I don't want to go into detail, but they gave me a big chunk of their company. I'm like now going to
Oh
be
wow,
helping them with organizing things, and I'm just
that's sick.
so grateful. I think the world of their conference, and so we're just early days. We're ramping up, but yeah, I love it. It's so much fun. So
That's
I'm
so
like
cool.
now part of the Canadian Bitcoin conference, which is going to be
That's so
crazy. So we're
cool.
doing something in October. Yeah, we're just, landing a space for it. We're getting speakers and things like that, but I am pumped,
That's so
man.
cool.
So
I love that, man.
yeah, so less things to comment on the internet and the crazy world of Bitcoin, of Sailor and all that, but more personal things. Yeah, just making
Yeah.
moves.
Speaking of meetups, I just sent you a photo of a guy that I met at my last Faith and Bitcoin meetup in London called Raul.
Dude, yeah. I talked to Rahul after that encounter you had with him. In fact, I know Rahul really
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
that's
and he
crazy.
was
I
like,
was just
"What the
talking to
hell?"
him, and I don't know how we got onto it. He said, "Oh yeah, he was in Bitcoin. He's from India," and I was like, "You probably know my friend Sunny if you've been Bitcoin in India." And he was like, "Sunny Ray." I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I literally texted him. I was messaging you half an hour before, and then he started talking about you, and I was like, "What is this world, man? Like, how is it possible that we all know each other?" So me and him had a real. I really liked him. He's a really cool guy. I really enjoyed talking to him, and
Super cool guy,
yeah,
dude. When I was at Matador, right? I was
yes,
president of Matador for a year. It's a public company on the TSXV. We were private when I started. We raised 20 some million. We bought 200 plus Bitcoin.
mm,
And then one of my kind of missions that while I was there was to seed the micro strategy of India.
mm,
And my co-founder at UnoCoin, Harish, essentially tapped Rahul and another gentleman on the shoulder. They'd been friends for some time, and decided to put together this team that's now embarking on that journey. They took control of a public company already. They've got some regulatory, bumps in the road that they've got to get over. I mean, nothing new in India, but that guy is something else. Yeah, he's like incredible. So yeah, work with him closely. We were in Vegas together for the Bitcoin conference last year. Was it last year? I'm losing count, but yeah, man,
yeah,
it's he's definitely a soldier.
yeah.
He's like one of
I'm
those
I'm
guys.
probably
Yeah.
gonna I'm probably gonna hang out with them the next couple of weeks. They live in a place which is not far from where we stay, and we often go bike riding around there. So he was like, "Oh, next time you're there, just like give me a shout. We can hang out." I was like, "Okay, no, I'm definitely going to. He's a really fun, nice, interesting guy to hang out with."
Yeah, and yeah, keep going. What do you got next on your mind?
No, I was just saying, dude, like, I was wondering, like, for you as a brown guy, like me too, as a brown guy, we never really talk about race at all. We haven't really talked about what it has been like for you as a brown person. I basically don't have any issues with being a brown person in my country. I've not really experienced much racism. I actually probably I've got this video that we could watch. I don't know if I play actually because it's a little bit inflammatory, but there's some stuff going around at the moment about, and it had me thinking about meaning, like what's my place in the world, because there's this big push in the UK and it's really weird. It's like um, there's a bunch of people saying that the countryside, so like the rural areas in the UK, is too white. There's too many white people in the rural parts of England, right? It's actually so crazy. A lot of the cities, there's a lot of diversity in quite a lot of cities in the UK, particularly London, Birmingham, Manchester, all the big cities. It's like super loads of black people, Asian people, Chinese people, like whatever. There's just like a whole mix of people, Europeans, South Americans. But in the countryside, you could just go like 20 minutes into the countryside, boom, just like full white people everywhere. Like you go there and we went to a church which is in the countryside, 20 minutes from where we live, and I was the only non-white person in a church of about 250 people, which I never really care. Like I don't care. Like I just look around and occasionally you think, oh yeah, I'm the only one with black hair here. It's like weird, but I don't care. But what's so interesting is that someone sent me this video to say, oh man, it's so really great. You should get behind this. And I was like, I listened to it, and there's basically two. I don't won't even hang on. I'm just going to show you the. Maybe I should just show you the intro clip. I won't show you the guy's commentary because actually, I mean, I find it kind of hilarious. Really, let's just. Um, I'll just share the first bit. Tell you when you can see it. Okay.
It's on.
Okay.
Do you think this is a good thing? Do we need to diversify the countryside?
I think absolutely. It's been white for far too long. And
It's been white for far too long.
Right. This guy, the guy who's commenting here, is hilarious. Like, I won't play it because he's actually, I imagine he's also quite racist as well. But on the whole, what he's saying is pretty spot on. I just wondered what you thought about that. Like,
I've seen that.
Have you?
I didn't find his comments to, like, the guy who was about to speak to be racist. I felt they were very grounded. Yeah. And dude, I'm completely appalled by. I'm appalled by those comments. I can't believe people say stuff like what the black guy just said.
Cool.
Like, could you imagine if a white guy said that? Well, I think that was his point. But could you imagine if a white guy said that, walked into like rural Africa and said, there's too many black people here? That would be the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, my take. So, I mean, I kind of identify with white people because
I'm basically a white guy in a brown body.
That's what I always say. I was born in Edmonton, Alberta. I grew up in Fort McMurray, the Texas of Canada, and most of the people that I grew up with were Caucasian. And so, like you said, I know I sound like a white guy. I look like a brown guy. And so I don't know what I am. Religiously, I'm eternally confused. Racially, I'm still trying to figure things out. My wife is from Colombia. I mean, dude, we're all over the place. But all in all, I think white people are awesome. They're great, right? I mean, I don't know what to say.
I just wanted to see. I mean,
like, just step back and look at all the most prosperous countries in the world.
Yeah.
Just say it, right? Like, there's probably something there. I think some of it actually has to do with Christianity. I don't know. This is just my take as like a person who's observing all of this, but I do feel like one of the reasons that the United States is so prosperous and has done so well is because of Jesus. I can't quite articulate exactly why. I might have a couple of points, but just to talk about like my perspective or like what do I think about, being brown in this world? I think brown people or Indian people have been mostly kind of in the background. Like, we were a bit like everyone knew that India is this amazing place you can go to and meditate and maybe climb a mountain and, whatever, get lost in a cave. People always knew that India was a bit dirty and messy. But I think that only in the last, maybe I would say 10, 15 years did being like brown become like the new white type of thing. No, maybe that's a little bit extreme, but I mean, look at all the CEOs of the top companies. I mean, that's pretty badass, right? Google and Microsoft and all of that. Now the owners are obviously Caucasian, but the CEOs are. So that, I think, is kind of cool. I think India carries a tremendous amount of soft power, right? I think Bollywood is a thing, right? I think a lot of people take to it. So Indian culture is pervasive, or it's becoming more like accepted. Now, let's subtract the last like year or something, because there's been this huge onslaught of like just outward like racism, especially in Canada and places like that, towards Indian people, brown people, right? Because there's been a lot of immigration and like open borders and this and that, and so people are just like, there's too many of them, let's get rid of them. So that's been a bit hard to start to figure out like where the hell I belong in all of this. I'm like, get rid of them. Wait, I'm one of them. Like, okay. Fuck. But I am proud. I'm proud of my heritage. I love India. I love Indians. I love Canadians. I don't know, man. I think I don't know, one heart, many colors. That's the one that comes to mind. I think Bitcoin is, it doesn't see colors, and neither should we. I think I think India's, it's got a bad rep in some ways. It's making a comeback in other ways. It's a democracy. It's English speaking. There's a lot of young people. The internet is, like, you look at any tutorial on YouTube nowadays, or most of them, or it's usually like some Gopal from Uttar Pradesh teaching you about like, coding or whatever. So I don't know.
No,
I don't
I'm
know,
with
man.
you, man.
I don't know. I'm like kind of like indifferent a little bit, but when I hear things like people saying stuff like, "Oh, let's get rid of all the white people," from the road, it's like,
crazy. Oh my gosh, what are you talking
what?
about? No, I
Like,
mean
no.
some things about white culture. I mean, this is like, I mean, let me clarify. There are some things about white culture which are just for my culture.
Are you fully Indian? Like,
No,
are you
I'm
100? Are you like half? You're half. Yeah. What's how does it? What's the breakdown? Like your dad?
kind of like English, Scottish sort of mix.
Interesting. So your mom is
White,
white and your
white.
dad is
Yeah,
brown.
she's full white. Yeah.
Oh, what was
He's
that
still
like
like
growing up? Like just
he,
being, a mutt.
he's like you. He's like you. He's a sort of white guy in a brown body, but he's a little bit more Indian. He like speaks all the language, and his parents are like fully like use the stick and all that stuff. Like they're full Indians, right? So, but he's a white guy in a brown body, but he's got a mustache, so he kind of looks fully Indian. But yeah, man, he's never been back to India, and he's freaked out when we moved back there. Dude,
Oh,
my uncles were fully like, "Why are you going back to India? No, don't you know what it cost your grandfather to come here? Like, why you go back?" Like, really upset with me when we went to live in India. But I do think there's, having lived in India for a while, you go out to the countryside there. Like, I don't know if you traveled around we went out to Uti, up to the mountains. It's like stunning. And you look across and you're like, wow, there's beautiful tea plantations. And then you look to the other side, it's just like crap, trash, rubbish everywhere, completely just destroying the countryside. And I think probably I don't know who this, going back to that video, this guy who's saying the countryside's too white. I'm like, hang on a sec. These English people kind of have looked after the countryside pretty well for a really long time. You really don't want to bring a lot of Indians into the countryside because they kind of trash it everywhere we went in the countryside in India. So some things you're just like, where is this coming from? Like, why do you want to do that? It's just, I think it's just gone too far, isn't it? I thought we'd reached peak woke, but apparently we haven't quite got there yet. There's a few dead cat bounces on wokeness, isn't there?
Yeah. So we talked about money. What are the other two themes? Meaning, mindset. Any progress
Bitcoin.
on those two fronts? Yeah, like I guess meaning is it's the big one. Yeah, like there's a tweet that's making its rounds yesterday that was super powerful called I can't remember the title of it, but I mean it was pretty much like all over my feed where a computer programmer was laying out just how fast AI is moving, and then kind of TLDRing it. But his kind of thesis, his overall like kind of summary was, like it's coming for you.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that Claude and Open AI has focused on is teaching these systems how to program incredibly well. So all of this intelligence is now being laser focused towards programming. And the reason that's crazy is because I don't know if you saw, but OpenAI's Codex, they said much of it was written by itself. Claude said the same thing. The CEO said that their employees are now at a point where they are using Claude to do most of the coding for Claude. This is like this thing that AI scientists have been talking about for decades, which is that when these systems can improve themselves at a speed that we can't even fathom, dude, what's that?
You can't even watch how fast it goes. You can't even keep up with the way speed it's going. You can't even look.
And that's where this term of the singularity is near, right? Like Raymond Kurzweil, it's a book that I read 20 years ago, and it's scary how accurate he's been with all of his predictions. But he's been predicting that by 2045, for his like whole career almost, he's been predicting that by 2045, we essentially reach what he calls a singularity. And a singularity in mathematical terms is like essentially an event horizon that you cannot see beyond. It's a point where things get so fast and so crazy that we cannot even predict what will happen beyond that point, just because it's it's like intelligence doing this, right? So So what that's led to obviously is massive job loss. I think last week there was, well, just yesterday there was an announcement. So I showed you Atio, which I'm tinkering with and loving, right? The CRM. There was one that came out yesterday called Monaco, kind of like Atio, or at least that's the vibe I got, but very, very, smart, intelligent, like a CRM that essentially maps out your entire like GTM plan. And it's wild. And I saw like Salesforce and all these guys cratering last week. There was a similar effect where when Claude released its new version 4.6 or whatever, like I forget, a couple $100 billion was wiped off from the stock market. So it's real, man. Like what's happening now, the so-called disruption it's real. We're living through it. It's not something you can feel or touch or see, but it's happening. It's happening. And people, traditionally 5 years ago, the wisdom was, learn how to program. Well, good luck with that one now, right? Like, like now the traditional wisdom is don't program. Like, do not learn how to program. Even Elon Musk said last week, he's like, programming is done. Like these machines will now speak English. So interesting times, man.
But with that singularity, that thing on the horizon that you can't see past it, don't you feel that, or is it possible that actually resources is what will slow that down? Like if suddenly the ability for robotics goes to another level, surely it's the speed at which we can produce these kind of humanoid robots that then in the programming that's going to inhabit humanoids is going to be there. The speed that's learning is going to be possible, but actually the production of these kind of real life AI systems that are going to be walking around like humanoid robots, surely it's going to be the resources, the metals and the rare earth minerals, is actually to have more of those on the earth than there are people. Surely it's going to be the resources, the access to resources, or just that will bring the speed of that stuff down.
Yes and no, as in like these humanoids will probably start building themselves, right? At one point, and they will do the dirty and the dull and the dangerous work as well. So meaning whatever metal and energy we cannot access today, they might have access to. The idea of, mining comets is, I think, a real one, right? Another really kind of interesting twist, again, I'm kind of jumping around all over the place, but Elon has claimed now that supposedly SpaceX is kind of, they're not swaying away from their mission of Mars, but they are now declaring that their focus for the next 5 years will be the moon. So setting up a base on the moon, because they think that Mars is just could be 20 years out, 25 years out. And I don't know if you know about the thing, but like you can only go to Mars once every 4 years because you need to wait for, because Earth is going around the sun. Mars is going around the sun. But if Mars is on this side of the sun and Earth is on this side of the sun, good luck getting to Mars. Only when Mars is passing Earth, like for a very short period of time, can you make that transition from Earth to Mars. And so they just said,
it's
hey,
like
look,
data centers on the moon, isn't it?
Data centers in the moon. There's a lot of talk this week about data centers in space. I saw, again, another Elon Musk interview where he's talking about the importance of putting data centers in space. He's saying when he breaks shit down, like he does it always from first principles, and it's really hard to argue, even though Sam Altman was like, nah, I think he's out to lunch or whatever. He's made some comments about Elon. They're always at it. They need a marriage counselor.
Yeah. Dude, it's like really interesting, man.
But it's
like Elon is not going down either. He's actually still saying the best stuff all the time. It's not like he's losing his edge. Like a lot of these tech CEOs, like Mark Zuckerberg doesn't really say anything that interesting very often, or like no one from Google says anything. Like Zuck, he's not really saying interesting stuff. Maybe he's just decided to retreat out of the public eye. But it feels like Elon constantly is saying interesting stuff, everything that he's still got good stuff.
To be alive during his timeline, bro. Yeah. Like I'm so grateful that he's a person on Earth, because you know what I mean? He just totally expands the scope of human consciousness and gives us this like example of what's possible. And I don't know. I know a lot of people hate on him and especially last year due to his support for Trump and this and that.
Yeah.
But I can't get enough of the guy. Can't get enough of him. Can't get enough of him. Man, it's yeah, no, I'm here for it. And then more recently, he's kind of turned his narrative more towards how he believes humanoids will, create I mean, mind you, it's financially motivated, I'm sure, and people will push back, but he's saying how, humanoids will lead to the alleviation of poverty. I mean, how long have we been trying to figure that one out? But yeah, you put 1 billion humanoids on Earth, now all of a sudden, even those Indians that are messing up the rural places, they'll get cleaned up real quick. So
Yeah,
I think,
fair enough. That's good.
yeah, so I could see this working out to be essentially like a heaven on earth type of situation, right? Complete abundance. I interviewed a guy last week, Rahul Mahendale, who is running a company called Live 150, and his whole kind of angle is using AI to enable humans to live to the age of 150. And he believes that once we hit 150, that's essentially escape velocity, where now we might get to live forever, because by the time you're 150, the tech, the biotech, the nanotech will take us to a point where we're not only going to slow down the aging process, which is largely what's happening now, we'll be able to stop it and then eventually reverse it. And this is another very big part of the whole singularity is near concept, is this idea that, again, is it guaranteed? Probably not, but the science doesn't say that you cannot do this, right? What's his name? Brian Johnson has obviously popularized this idea. He's taken like shrooms and stuff. I don't know if you saw his thing last month where he was like, and now he's saying that even that relates to longevity and all this crazy stuff, man. So I think it's an exciting time to be alive, Miles. And yeah, things could go horribly wrong, but I don't see a lot of benefit in just sitting around thinking about that and making that real. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think this could be, as long as we don't, mess things up, this could be a beautiful, beautiful time for humanity. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. TBD. Yeah. So I think we're near the end. Wow, this was probably my most fun one that we've done together. We had 24 people watching. Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, check out Sonny. He's doing live streams all the time, so check out his channel. He's all over it. And Sunny Ray Show, is that the best place to find you, or at Sunny Ray?
SunnyRay.com is my personal website. Yeah, they can find all the links there. And yeah, Miles, once again, man, thank you for being really the first. Like I told you, I'm doing 3 live streams a day. I'm going nuts with all this content stuff. People are probably like, enough. But I'm like, no, I'm just getting warmed up. But you were one of the main reasons I started, or I was able to, build up the courage to start clicking that button, right? The go live button. It's hard, man. Once you do it, it's addicting. It's like, it's fun. And like I said, now on Friday nights, I'm doing live streams with the boys. Like I'm really starting to enjoy it. It's fun, man. It's just so cool that you can connect with everyone from around the world. And I don't know. It's just,
it's cool.
Beauty of it.
Cool. Bring me, hit me up. Any ones that I can join, I'll jump in. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing again the Friday thing, just like just a chilling thing, no script, no agenda. It's just we talk about Bitcoin, obviously, because that's all we know about. But it's fun, man. It's fun. Yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in once again, and I guess until next time.